How you doing? Why do you get the mic first all the time? All right. All right.
We'll bring Joe back. Lots been made about Kaepernick and Robert and these mobile quarterbacks in year two. Is there anything you're seeing as you watch the tape that's changed, I guess, league-wide?
No, not. I haven't seen anything that's changed based off what I've seen from last year to this year. I think, one, he's a great athlete. He's got great speed, got a big-time arm. He does a great job with their zone reading. I think he's run the offense as well as he can. I think he's doing a nice job.
Is it easier to be ready for him now that you've got a lot of game film to look back on and you know?
Well, that and, they run a lot of similar things that our offense runs, so it's a lot of it's the same, so our guys have an idea going into the game. There'll be some things that'll be different, obviously, but, the motions in the backfield and the sift boots and, all that comes into play.
Looks like his numbers aren't quite what they were last year. Is that a testament to people figuring him out, or struggles, you think, because of the health of the wide receiver position? What do you observe?
He's had a lot of injuries at that receiver position. I'm not really sure why the numbers aren't the same, but he didn't start till halfway through last year. But I think you look at the receivers. He's had a lot of injuries in that area. Crabtree being down, and they got traded Williams or cut Williams, and I think that kind of plays into it.
They've been a really good team running the ball over the last couple of years. Just curious in terms of the run against Philadelphia. It seemed like you guys did a nice job getting into the backfield, getting people toward McCoy, and then getting them down was the challenge. What'd you think?
Getting them down wasn't the easiest part, but we did I thought we did a good job on McCoy. We faced three of the best in the league, back to back here. So I think Frank's different than Peterson, and obviously McCoy's a jump around guy, and jump cuts you and all that. This is different. This is a violent runner who goes downhill. He hides behind people. He has great power and strength, great leg drive. So it's a different type of guy. But we've seen three of the best the last 3 weeks. So this is a great test for us because I think we've done a pretty good job in the other two.
What's the key to containing Kaepernick?
Well, you got to be disciplined. Number one, he's got great speed. You got to have somebody that can run him down. But he'll run at the drop of the hat. If nothing's open, he turns it up, and he's got great speed. So it's a good test for us up front to make sure we stay disciplined in our rush lanes.
Is he running as much as he did last year?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I don't see any difference.
As going back to that Philadelphia game, a lot of people wondering how Ryan Kerrigan gets matched up one-on-one with McCoy on that 49-yard wheel route. How does that happen, and should that not have happened? What exactly went through on that play?
Well, it happened, like we ran it 10 times during the game, and he covered them like 6 other times. We did have a blown assignment on that play that we would have had a guy free. We ran the same play, London got the sack. Same exact play they ran versus the play we ran, he got a sack. So we had a missed assignment on it. Probably wouldn't have happened. It's one of those situations. We ran it 10 times during the game, and we just had a missed assignment that got him open.
And then on the screens that they hit you guys
we,
on?
We weren't very good in the screens.
Right.
I guarantee you. We made a change at halftime. We did a couple things different to take it away. That was one of our bugaboos. We didn't have them play that well. The tight end screen and the halfback screen, we made a little change later on. We got it, and they ran a couple other ones at us. We took it away. So we'll hopefully continue to do that. We'll keep working on that area. But that was probably out of the game. I think we played 60-some plays. We had 4 really poor plays, and 2 of those were screens.
When you look at them as you talked about, sort of a power running team and some of the issues they've had at receiver in the passing game, stylistically, do you think that's a fairly favorable matchup for you, the way you guys play defense?
Well, it's I don't know. I just think the guy's a heck of a running back. We played him a couple of years ago, and he got out on the edge on us one time. We missed a tackle, and he ran for 27 yards, I think it was. But the guy's a great running back. So even if you're in the right spot and the right time, you got to tackle him, and that's probably the hardest thing about the whole thing.
Reed mentioned this time of season, when the team's not winning, it can be hard to get motivated. It's kind of a test of who.
Who said that?
Reed Dowdy. it could be harder to get up. Could be a test of who wants to be here. Is there anything you do to keep the practices fresh or interesting?
Well, I'm going to be the same way I've always been. We'll be upbeat. We'll be on the field. We'll get them to do the right things. We had great practice yesterday on defense. I thought we were outstanding. So as long as you see that, that's what you can ask from your players. I don't see any different. We're not coaching them any different. This whole coaching staff on defense will get after them, and we're not going to let up. We had a nice talk on Monday with the team, the defense. And we're not going to have a drop. We're going to try to play better. We're going to try to play more consistent. That's what we're going to try to do. Try to play. If we get 60 plays, we're going to try to play 60 perfect plays. Is there a chance that's not going to happen? Probably doesn't. Doesn't happen too often in the NFL. But we're going to try.
Was that the message of the Monday talk?
Monday talk was that we basically, and we got to take care of business. It doesn't make a difference how many games are left, how many days are left, what the season is, what this record is. You got to go out and play every snap like it's the last and practice that way. And like I said yesterday, our practice was we had a great practice yesterday.
His rack sack was a little different than a normal design where he was kind of standing in the middle, went around the left edge past Kerrigan. We don't see a whole lot of them on the same side and a whole lot of the moving around that we saw in the preseason early on. What are some of the drawbacks to doing that you don't do it more often?
It's really based on who you're playing, what they're doing. We just haven't done that as much as we did in maybe last year or the year before, but we'll try to get those guys mismatched in as much as we can. We haven't had a lot of leads. We haven't this year to do those type of things.
So it's one of those things when they're throwing every down, you can start to dial some more.
You can do some different things. Yes.
Just kind of a little follow-up. Arakpo seems like he's playing the run pretty well. I don't know if you would agree, but can you just talk about where he's improved maybe in that area?
I think Rack is, missing last year. He's come back. I think he's starting to peak to where he was before. He's sack totals jumped up. He's rushing much better. He's violent in the run game. A couple weeks ago, you guys were asking me, his sack total is done. Is he? I think he's coming around and looked like the Rack of old.
Would you say he's made a lot of improvement run defense or just modest?
No, I think Rack's good on the run. Rack is good. The number one criteria for outside linebacker is obviously pass rusher. Number two is you got to be able to handle a tight end, beat up a tight end. And I think him and Ryan are excellent at both of those.
When you talk about Gore being a different kind of runner, what's the different challenge? Is it just you have to tackle harder?
Well, I said he's a different type runner than Adrian Peterson and McCoy. I think there's three different type of running backs. You got one big guy that kind of jump cuts, slips through holes. Frank's and McCoy was a jump cutter, and he run all over the place. Barry Sanders type guy. I think Frank's the kind of guy that takes the ball downhill. He's going to run you over. He's not looking to miss, to juke you and all that stuff. He's going to take it, put the foot in the ground, and he's got great leg strength and drive. And I think that's our challenge. When you get to him, you better be able to tackle him. And he's got a little stiff arm and all that, but he's a heck of a running back.
But can we say that it follows? You did a really good job against Peterson. You did a really good job against McCoy. That means you'll do a good job against Gore?
I hope so.
I've got one more. When a quarterback has a really low accuracy rate, how do you exploit that? How do you take advantage of that?
Well, you can take that and you can say that. I think they're smart in how they used Kaepernick. Meaning that they don't need. They're really. I think they're a really good football team. Almost went to the Super Bowl last year. They got a great defense. I think they're smart. They're going to win because their defense is a heck of a team. They don't want the quarterback to take a lot of risk. You don't have to. It doesn't have to be a great risk taker. They run the ball as good as anybody in the National Football League, and they use the quarterback extremely well. So I think what they're envision how they're going to win football games. I think they coach the quarterback up to do exactly what they need to do to win.
As your perspective on this could be interesting, you see this team every day in practice, and you've studied Roman's offense now the last week. Read option-wise, what are some of the similarities that they use?
Well, I think there's a lot of similarities when they run it. There's just the reads, the sift plays they run with it. Like I said, there's a lot of similarities.
So that theoretically, that should help you guys a lot.
I'll let you know.